Okay, let's look at our example of a double top reversal. In this case, we're going to take a look at Ford Motor Company from the period of September 1998 through August 1999. With any stock that is reversing, you've got to have a good uptrend intact for that reverse to take place. And so in this case, you can see here we had a very strong uptrend in Ford. Ford in turn peaked here in roughly January, which is your high point. That becomes your support, or your line of resistance. So now if we were looking at this stock and we like the fundamentals, we would start to look at the basing pattern. You can see that the stock is starting to pull back here. We've got a pullback of roughly 16–20%, and then we had a period of good solid basing right through here. So you're going to see the stock is really sorting out all the sellers. The buyers aren't really in there. You've just got flat trading for a couple months. Then you've got the stock starting a new uptrend, which is where you're going to want to start to look for a potential buy candidate. As you know, the stock hits its prior high on just a cup base right through here. This would be your entry point. If the stock met all of your fundamentals, you would look at entering this stock. In this case, you had a lot of good volume on the upside, so you would really consider this to be a buy candidate if Ford was in fact a good company at that point. Now what you've got though is you've got the stock as a purchase right here. It failed to move materially past its point of resistance, declined. You would have been stopped out right through here for your maximum 8% loss. Then it rallied and failed to get back through resistance again, and then it started a downtrend. So at this stage, this stock is starting to look like there's some problems. And if you look at it right through here, you had major downside in this stock, big gaps to the downside on very significant volume. So at this stage, you should have recognized that, hey, we might have a double top formation forming here. Maybe we should start to look for a short potential on this stock. And then so what you would do is you would find its prior level of support, which would be right through here. You can see it found support and it tried to bounce. It hit an area of its high, which is resistance, okay, which would be right through here. So the stock has fallen, comes back up right about here. You're going to want to look and see whether or not this is a potential short candidate. If you were reading your charts well, right through here you would have found a good short opportunity, which was followed by very significant volume on the downside, and found yourself a very profitable short position because you recognized a double top. That's Ford Motor Company, our example of a double top reversal.